Hey, what's going on, fellow adjusters? Hope you guys are doing great today. I am here at Starbucks. Here, I'll flip the camera around. Just sitting outside of Starbucks trying to get my new printer all set up here. So, just waiting. This thing's been going for a couple minutes, but anyways, yeah, so I am back home and back in Houston, trying to get some local stuff going here. So I've been traveling pretty much almost non-stop since September, and I need to spend a few months here around the Houston area. Traveling a lot with small kids at home is really hard, so I'm trying to develop some stuff here around the Houston area to get some money coming in, just so I can stay home for, at least the summer, hopefully. Maybe take off again during hurricane season, don't know, but I guess it depends on what we get going on here. I am actually currently just writing estimates for contractors, roofers, public adjusters, just taking the photos, writing up documentations, and send that information off to those guys to help them with their projects. I've met with a couple roofers already. Got another meeting with a public adjuster here in the next hour or so. Just sitting at Starbucks, trying to get all booted up. But yeah, just trying to work on doing some virtual inspections or supplements or something like that for the time being. Hopefully, we'll see what turns up from this. But that's kind of what I want to talk to you guys about today is hustle, finding work, hustling, getting new business. And I had a friend of mine who once said there's always work for the people who are willing to knock on enough doors. There's always work for the people who are willing to knock on enough doors. So it really doesn't matter what the economy is doing. I mean, it matters per se, but it shouldn't matter on you being able to find work. The economy or what's going on politically or, that plays some factors into things, but the reality is, if you really think about it, if you're willing to go knock on enough doors, if you're willing to talk to enough people, if you're willing to make enough phone calls, then you'll always find something. You will always find something. I could, if I really wanted to, I could go just start selling floors again and be making, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month just selling floors again if I really wanted to pursue that. Obviously, I'm not trying to go that route, but the point I'm trying to make is, some of y'all are waiting for, an event to happen, and you're waiting for that next deployment call, and you're worried. You're worried about money. You're worried about money coming in, and me too. I mean, when I left North Carolina, one of my big concerns is, man, I'm gonna try to do something where all the money that I bring in is going to be 100% my own effort. I'm not having a carrier send me claims. I'm not having a IA firm send me claims. I am going out there and getting my own work, and I have to manage my own clients. And, that's brings anxiety sometimes. It brings worry, and you're trying to do the best you can. Oh, finally, my printer finally got up here. But, the best way, I think it was Dave Ramsey says that, when you need money, the best place to go is to work, right? And I always had this thing where, sorry, my computer's here wanting me to do some updates real quick. I always had this thing where I've never been afraid to go knock on doors, right? Matter of fact, I've actually knocked on doors before. But I've never been afraid to call people up, to schedule meetings, to do coffee meetings with people, ask for referrals. I've always found a way to generate money when I needed it. And one of the biggest things that I'm pretty proud of myself for is, I've never gone more than 30 days without some kind of money coming in. Never. I've never gone 30 days without some kind of reality is I don't think I've gone more than 3 weeks without money coming in. Now, doesn't mean that it is, a lot of money sometimes. Sometimes it's not a lot of money. But I've always had money coming in. And the reason that is I'm not afraid to go out there and hustle. I'm not afraid to make phone calls. So for you guys who are kind of struggling right now, looking for looking for that first deployment or whatever, I'm going to give you a couple things that I do. One is you shouldn't just be dependent on that first deployment, that next deployment, or whatever you guys are doing. You guys should always be looking for ways to make money in general. I call it hunting money. You have to be out there ready to hunt money. And right now there may not be a deployment out there, but you might be able to get in with a roofing company, and maybe they need somebody in the back office doing paperwork, and get kind of familiar with their processes. That would help you as an adjuster. Maybe you can get in with a contracting company, a mitigation company, going out there and doing bids for mitigation companies and getting educated that way. Maybe you can work with real estate agents and taking photos of homes. Home sales are slowing a little bit, but they're still out there. And so a lot of times these real estate agents need people to go out there, take measurements of homes, take photographs of homes. I mean, you can do that and make some money while you're sitting here waiting for that next deployment. You need to be making phone calls to adjusters, to to really just about anybody in this industry. You should be making phone calls, building those relationships with, sitting down for a cup of coffee. But you shouldn't just be dependent on that next deployment. The next deployment will happen when the next deployment happens. That doesn't mean you can just sit around and not do anything to earn income. There's plenty of things you can do to earn income. And one thing that I would recommend that each of you do, let's say that if you were to go the real estate route, right? You're going to call the real estate agents up and see if you can go take photos and measurements of homes. By the way, banks are going to need that too. Foreclosures are up, and a lot of times banks will send people out to take photos and documentation and measurements of homes and stuff like that to see what kind of shape they're in. You can probably call a bunch of small banks as well. But what I would do is kind of pick the niche that you're going to start with. Don't try to do everything at once, right? So if you're going to work with real estate agents, what I would do, getting a hold of a real estate agent, it's easy. It's the easiest thing you can do. They're, especially in the Houston area, it's a dime a dozen. I mean, shoot, there's a real estate agent around every corner right now, and the market's hot enough to support it. But, make a phone call with the real estate agent. Just kind of give them a brief idea of what you're doing and ask to take them out to have a cup of coffee and kind of explain what you're trying to do while you wait for that next deployment. What I would basically say, I would have a kind of like a resume almost, but what I would do for your body of work is your current home, or maybe a parent's home or something like that if you don't have your own home, is go and photograph a house, take measurements. If you already have Xactimate, I'd plug in all the measurements, do a nice little diagram for them. You can use something called Company Cam to document all your photos and do a real nice presentation. You can create a report in there. And I would use that kind of as your resume. So as you're going to talk to these real estate agents, say, hey, look, these are the type of photos I take. You can see real good, clear distinction of the rooms. I can measure the rooms. I put them in my software here, whether it's Xactimate or Symbility, or even if you guys don't have those tools, you can always old-fashioned graph paper. You can still do it that way, and sit down with them and be like, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is the quality of my work. Let me know what you think, and let me know, is there some way we can work together, or do you know somebody that I could call and discuss these options with them? I believe everyone could start their own business if they would just make a list of 25 of the most influential people they know and just take them out to coffee and show them what they're doing. Even if it's not a real estate agent, if you write a list of 25 most influential people you know. You have a game plan of what, if you're going after real estate agents for this thing, call the 25 most influential people you know, take them out to coffee, say, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. I know there's a kind of a market for this. I wanted to show you my body of work, and that's where your photos and your estimate or your sketches, and just want to get your opinion on it. And I guarantee you cannot go through 25 influential people and not start getting work out of it. One way or the other, you're going to start getting work. But it's about knocking on doors. It's about knocking on the right doors. Even if the person is not in the industry that you are trying to get work in, if they're influential people, they know people who know people. Okay? So, yeah, it may be, the guy might just be a really established barber in your area, but guarantee you go take him out and you start talking business with him and you start sharing things. Guess what? Barbers know real estate agents. Oh, yeah, you need to go talk to this guy here. I know he was telling me the other day when he was in here getting his hair cut how much, he needed help with measurements or whatever like that. And now you got a lead. And now you're off to the races. So that's number one is start making a list of people, start phone calling them, get them, sit down for a cup of coffee. I try to do, 10 or 12 in a week. And in 2 weeks, you'll have a full-fledged business going. Will you be making as much as you will as an adjuster? No, but if you got a couple $1,000s coming in a month, that sure makes the wait a little bit easier, right? It sure does. A lot of people get out of this business because they can't wait to the next storm, and so they have to go get a full-time job somewhere. Well, if you're an independent insurance adjuster, there we go. That independent starts right now. Regardless if you're on a storm or not, it starts right now. You need to be independent. You need to go out there hustling for business. So that's the first thing you do. Make a list of the 25 people you know. Take them out for a cup of coffee. Next thing you need to do is make a list of 150 people. So if you're going after real estate agents, you just need to go to Facebook. You need to go to LinkedIn. Even Instagram, and you just start finding all the real estate agents that you can, making a list about 125 to 150 of them. Put them on the list, and then start smiling and dialing. That's all it's about right there. And you need to have a good little pitch going, right? You need to have your sales pitch going. I can do another video on that. Actually, that's what I really need to do. I need to show you guys how to do a pitch, how to pitch yourself, how to get people to listen to you. Your pitch, no more than a minute. I mean, if they're not interested after a minute, if you're rambling on 5, 6, 7, 10 minutes, you don't have a really good pitch. My pitch is real short and concise. And you need to have a little catchphrase. Basically, my little catchphrase is, I provide as needed services for companies that are trying to scale in regards to insurance claims, right? As needed services for companies trying to scale, especially those that deal with insurance claims. That's kind of my pitch. And okay, well, how do you do that? Glad you asked. I do inspections, I do estimate writing, I do escalation letters. We got to file complaints, and I do supplements as needed. So you're not paying me a monthly deal. I'm not like a back office guy you're paying a salary to every month. You get a bunch of business you can't handle and you don't want to turn it down, guess what? I'll be your guy. You send me out there. If you need me to do inspection, you need me to do an estimate, you need me to do supplements, I'm your guy. You can just send me out there and I'll help you out with that. That's an easy sale. And then, I have a couple estimates on my laptop that I show them that I do, so they can see my body of work. I use company cam so I can show them photos of, some roofs that I've looked at and how I document it. And I tell them my job is to outperform the adjuster. So I do a full inspection. I try to outperform the adjuster, and that goes a long way. So you need to have your little pitch going. You need to start making phone calls. You need to start talking to them, give them to your pitch, trying to get them out to get a cup of coffee somewhere. And then just start, booking your business. Start going out there doing inspections, start measuring homes, start taking photos, whatever you got to do to start earning money while you guys are waiting on that next deployment. So anyways, my printer's finally set up here, so I'm actually going to start printing out some documents and start heading out to my next meeting here in the next 30 minutes, I guess, here. But just wanted to share that with you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll talk to you later.